Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equities Story. I'm with Mr. Wolfie, and this is just general share advice and not personal advice, as always. Wolf, tell me, what is going on in America? Those CPI numbers. Energy was up a little bit, wasn't it? And I think there's a bit of underlying inflation still hovering around. It wasn't a disaster, but it wasn't brilliant.
It wasn't. It was worse than expected. Jump back up, which obviously had a little bit of a market movement, but it wasn't too bad. And also, the economists out there, maybe they've just sharpened their pencils, going, okay, well, maybe with those sort of numbers, the Fed could potentially have another go at raising rates, which is okay, but yeah, it is problematic. I mean, we said that it's going to, that inflation, it might come down, it might have a little jump up again. It's going to be just a tough road to get it down to whatever they want to get it down to. So there could be some bumps along the way and so on. But I think generally speaking, we're still pretty much at the top of the hill, and we're looking down. But if they're going to raise another 25 basis points, then I don't think it'll be disastrous by any stretch of the imagination. Remember that the US economy is still going quite well, and for the actual inflation to probably go down, that economy needs to be weaker than it is, I'd say. Otherwise, it's not going to do anything.
And I suppose the same applies to our economy.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the same boat, and watch on, those interest rates could go higher.
It's a very fine balance, I suppose, and it's not easy to avoid recession and have the inflation come down.
All right, Wolf, can we just talk about first of all, because I'm just looking at BOE, BMN, Age, PDN, all these uranium stocks, and I'm glad because they've all been on Einstein's, and again I had BOE back on Einstein's and Age. They're absolutely flying. I saw uranium was up, but there's an article you saw on Stockhead, so tell us all about it.
Yeah, so they're quoting WNA, which is the World Nuclear Association, right? Who came up with a pretty interesting article, which I think got everyone excited about uranium. So basically, the crux of it, they're saying, is that uranium demand will double by 2040, right? Which is another 27 years away. Sorry, 17 years away. What am I talking about? But if it's doubling, then where's the uranium going to come from, right? So if you read through that article, pretty much talking about problems with supply, right? There isn't any. There's only there's no new mines at all coming through. You've got issues in Ukraine and Russia, which is one of the big producers of uranium. There has been any money spent on the uranium industry. We've got now, I suppose, a scenario where, remember back in the day, there was a lot of nuclear weapons. There was a declaration from Russia and the US that they're going to reduce their stockpiles of uranium weapons, and they were selling that excess uranium, enriched uranium, to those utilities. Not anymore, Dave. That's finished. Plus, probably the Russians and Americans are now probably going to build more bloody nuclear weapons. So, look, I think that the whole dynamic is changing for sure. So people are getting excited about it. Yeah. So that's the article you're looking right now. Whether you believe long term that uranium or nuclear industry is the be and end all to our energy problems, right? Clean energy problems is debatable, but at least from the article you can read that there is still demand for it and there's still expansion in the nuclear industry.
And Wolf, it's fair to say, isn't it, that the new sort of nuclear power stations are not like the old ones. They're much more advanced. They're a lot safer. And in some ways, nuclear energy is arguably the greenest of them all.
Yeah, it is. But they're getting safer. But do they make it safer if there's a war around? No. That's the problem, right? So if there's more conflicts around the world, we've got China and Taiwan looking thing, Russia and Ukraine, and maybe the rest of the world. They are targets. So for me, yeah, look, yeah, from just a operational point of view, Nuclear is good, but I've seen again articles about you still have to dig it out. So is it that green, right? Look, whatever you believe, it doesn't matter. The facts are here is that the demand is probably outstripping supply, which you're going to probably see a price rise. Now, when you read the article, the actual couple of the dudes that look at the uranium space themselves, the big call for them is, can they see uranium going up higher? Some of them are calling 3-4 times the price that it is right now, and that's why everyone's getting excited.
All right, and again, I don't know if, well, it does make a bit of a difference. The war in Ukraine seems to be getting worse, and now America have supplied cluster bombs to Ukrainians, which are banned by 150 countries around the world because they're absolutely disgusting weapon, right? Talk about poking the bear, right? What's going to happen when those cluster bombs, and they've also provided the Ukrainians with longer range missiles, Wolf. What's going to happen if some of those cluster bombs start going into bigger cities in Russia? I mean, that war is getting more and more serious and more of a worry. And I suppose something like uranium, Wolf, yeah, you could see more interest in it.
So it's a place I think you want to stick into for the moment. And I'm looking at Cameco, which is the canary in the coal mine. That's surging, Dave.
Yeah.
You got to obviously follow with BOEs. Again, the best in class in Australia is BOE, so you still keep riding that. And I know some of you go, okay, take a profit around 4. Okay, you go again. If it finishes like this at the end of the week, you go again, pretty much.
Well, I mean, that's been a good hot stock actually. All right, Wolf. And you can see all of those BOA, BMA, BMN,
Everything in that space will go, right? But if you want to stick to quality, you stick to the quality BOEs of the world, right? That's where you're going to probably be the safest, so to speak. I mean, the rest of them are just penny punts or wishful thinkers. They're going to produce uranium.
And definitely, Wolf. You know what? We don't have to panic. We can wait till tomorrow if you're still in BOE and it looks like that. But I'll tell you what, if it looks like that by the close tomorrow, you can buy it tomorrow evening or Monday.
There's no rush. If this is true, we got to get a uranium going to $100. I tell you what, you're still going to make money on BOE significantly. That's the case, so you don't have to panic.
All right, let's talk about another story you want to talk about, Soul Pats. Because I think, Wolfie, I don't think we talk about this enough, to be honest with you. It's our, like you said, it's our Berkshire Hathaway story, but it's it's got Brickworks, it's got New Hope Coal, it's got a lot of funds under management. It's got its fingers in every pie. It's got a bit of LAU.
It does have also BOE.
Right. Okay. So it seems to very clever guy. So talk us about Soul Pats and
look, there's an interesting article on in Livewire. Just going through the chairman with executive chairman Robert Milner talking about the company and what the outlook is. Obviously, like a Q&A type stuff. And they've got 3 points that they've mentioned in his Livewire article, and probably would be great to just listen to the whole thing. But the 3 things are: patience is virtue, just like the Buffett, the Berkshire have the way things, picking the right stories, sticking in there, following trends. I mean, that's exactly what he's done. So I think they're talking about at the moment, they're sitting on about 650 million worth of cash, right? Which is nice. So they can go for it if they find something good. The latest thing they talked about is that they've expanded significantly with that merger with Milton in 2021. And they're looking for bargains, basically. I mean, just like a Berkshire. So that when you read that, it just gives you that, okay, they're good operators. They've done it over many, many years. They're goodwill and dealers. And if you can find a story that's got any similarity to the Berkshire, I think it probably should be on your radar as an investment, right? So the second part of it is the investing in energy transition, and they're saying that can wait, so they're not that keen in it. However, they have investments in the energy space, or when I say energy space, the commodity space. So the New Hopes, copper. They've got ARIS, which is AIS, which is maybe not their best investment, but also they've got BHP, Boss, which is obviously BOE, and Paladin. Funny enough, so they do have some exposures in there. They also talked about Australia's energy crisis as well. That just could not believe how we produce so much cheap energy, yet we're paying through the roof through our noses in Australia for the energy. So that's another thing they talked about. And so they're not interested in renewables at the moment, but they will be probably later. And the last one is the portfolio heavy hitters for them. So New Hope was one that they really liked, that they've been doing such. They're talking about New Hope as the number one play in coal globally, because Australian coal is the cleanest coal on the planet, Dave. So if you're going to be still, trying to sort of, in a roundabout way, help the environment you have to burn coal. Where would you find the coal? Australia, because it's the best, right? So at least they've got that where you can still possibly go, okay, they've got a great diversified portfolio.
What a great, obviously, what a great spin. We got the most greenest coal.
I love it.
I love it.
Like the lesser of two evils.
Yeah, but Wolf, I mean, coal isn't going away, is it? Right.
Oh, it isn't. It's not, I think they talked about that. The coal's still got pretty good upside till 2030. So anyway, so look, I like Sol. We've been trading it a lot of the time. We've been investing it a lot of the time. So if you're looking for a story for a strategy over the longer term, it's definitely, if you put this, Dave, please do me a favor, put it on long-term charts.
Yeah, sure.
Like a 10-year or 20-year monthly, and you can see why you should like Sol. There you go.
Yeah.
Right. So you cannot complain with Sol as an investment over a long period of time. And, but it's this everything applies the same rule, which is you still got to follow the CTM. So if there's any instances that it falls below, you get out and you get back into it when it gets back over, because you just never know what happens. I think there was only 2 instances in the last 20 years, I think, Dave, that's fallen below the blue line. That was right, and that was a big sell-off on the tech crash.
Yeah, and it actually held every time very nicely, that little red line. So
yeah, it's right.
Okay. Wolf, another one we just want to talk about is NXL, because talk about giving everybody a ride. Hang on, that's there you go. That's let's go back on the weekly. Talking about giving everyone a right ride. So it keeps coming up, keeps retesting that just under that trend line, and gets sold down. And yesterday someone really did press the button, didn't they? And sold quite a bit of stock and a little bit of panic. So
we had a lot of questions, right? Going, why is this going down? It's crashing. It's crashing. Well, it is falling quite heavily. So we needed to have a look, right? I couldn't find anything, right? I went to the dark places like copper to see if there's any rumors or anything, right? Because there's no announcements. There's nothing in AFR that I could point out. I had a look through the annual report that was released a couple of days ago, 3 days ago. Nothing that, after what red flags. I couldn't see anything in there. Is there announcement coming? Is there insider selling? Is there anything that? And look, I couldn't find anything yesterday. So the only thing I saw late yesterday was a director retirement, which I don't think would have crashed the price like that. So I think we're still waiting for an announcement to see what actually happened. But saying that, I mean, we got to understand that this is a high risk story. It will have really strong swings. This has been a dog for a long time. It's only now coming back up, so it will probably still have its volatility and maybe left field announcements, so to speak, right? Where unexpected stuff that potentially could derail this again. But let's wait till in the week and see what happens. We still got another couple of days to go, so we'll see.
Yeah, it'd be good if you could just get back over that 144.
Yeah, otherwise we've got to get out, unfortunately, right? But yeah, let's see what happens. I'm not panicking yet, but not great price action, of course, this week. And we just got to wait to see what does happen from here.
360 had a presentation, well worth reading if you've got time. Catapult will put an announcement and wasn't sensitive, which
I I missed it because it wasn't sensitive. I mean, I've got my thing set on sensitive, and how you can win a big contract and not put it as sensitive. I tell you what, I mean, they're going very quickly, the ASX, on someone company that does something wrong, but when they don't flag stuff that's sensitive, then I've got issues. ASX being on top of things.
Anyway, it's lucky some genius noticed it. I don't know who that was.
Thank you. I don't know who that was, but anyway, it's a good announcement. NASCAR is a big sporting institution in the US, so that should give it more clout. I still like this story, and I wish it holds the $1 because I really want to hold on a little bit longer with this. But it's going to be volatile again. It's a lightly traded stock. It is again one of those that's coming back from the depths of despair. And there's going to be a lot of traders. Probably got a lot of shorters still in there. It's going to take time. It's just simple as that. Just like an NXL, CAT in the same position. It's going to take a long time to get back into that over 16, 121, 130 to get back onto track again. It's still in that twilight zone right now.
Wolf, and BUX. So they had put out an announcement.
Yeah, look, I didn't expect that announcement. I was thinking maybe there's going to be more stuff from Canada, which obviously that's what it was rushing on. But they're looking at the WA assets and looking at nickel with IGO. So they've got obviously partnerships with IGO in Canada, in Australia. So it'd be interesting what they come up with. I think the previous results I had a quick look through. They had some 2% nickel hits. So they're going to follow that up and see what happens. So there's a few things to look forward to with Bucks if you are trading this. But it's going to be volatile. Is it going to do what we want to do? God knows. It's just depending on the traders and depending on their announcement. So we're just going to have to be wary of it and be very careful when we trade it.
All right, listen, Wolf, on that note, thank you very, very much. Absolutely brilliant as always. Looking forward to tomorrow, which is, I think, the best time of the week, 12 o'clock to 1:30 on Fridays. Everyone's got their ideas. All the Cincinnati traders are there. They've all got the trades of the week. I think there'll be a lot of talk about uranium. I think there might be a bit of talk about some of these coal stocks that look quite good. And see you tomorrow, Wolfie.
Thank you. See you guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.